How's it going, everyone? So today, along with this video, I should be releasing a poll in my community post tab or whatever it is, asking what deck I'm going to play for RBET. Normally before, I always had some single idea that I was working on for a while, but this time felt a lot more comfortable to just kind of play around with whatever, since we're already good to go in terms of rulers, invites, and tops and whatnot. So I decided I was satisfied with the field of decks that I played so far this week. I was planning on maybe adding a couple more, but I think I'm pretty confident with just these three we have. So anyway, after you watch this video, I'm gonna lay out all the decks, the deck lists, and maybe some explanation. Who knows? But after you watch this video, go vote in the community poll thing on YouTube, because that's the vote that's gonna matter. I don't care what you put in the comments. So yeah, if you want to have a say in what I play for RBET, definitely go vote in that. There's a vague chance that I might just ignore the result entirely. I don't know. I'd prefer to accept democracy, but you gotta leave it kind of ambiguous, so people don't know for sure what I'm gonna play, right? And maybe I'll just get the result and I'll really hate it, and this will make me realize that I want to play something else. So you never know. Sometimes things can help you decide one way or another. So first list we've got here, you might recognize, of course, is the Chaos Eccentric Boy zombie deck that I played earlier this week. This is a pretty cool list. It's got a lot of standard zombie stuff going on, and then you also have this weird package of mutually searchable one-offs. So you play Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon goes well with Eccentric Boy. It also goes well with a lot of the zombie game plan, as I've mentioned before. And this enables you to run Sork. Sork's a really good card, which is nice. And then you also play Sphere plus Chaos Endmaster. Sphere searches Eccentric Boy, and also searches the other half of the Eccentric Boy combo with Beast of the Pharaoh. You can search Sangan Card Trooper too if you're really desperate. And you can search this guy, who's another light for Sork, who's another tuner, since we don't really have the space to have any diva stuff going on or anything in here. And he also is kind of like a Flamvel Fire Dog for Thunder Dragon or for Sphere of Chaos that just lets you make a free level 8. You can go with Sphere, you can go attacker or something, get Sphere, make Dark End, which is pretty neat. So yeah, and of course Eccentric Boy lets you make 8s with all the 5s. Thunder Dragon's just essentially one card like RDA, 3k beater, not too bad. Main combo, of course, Eccentric Boy plus Beast of the Pharaoh. Means even if you draw this, you can get it out of your hand. And you can even search it with Gobzomb and then just sync off with Eccentric Boy. One thing that's kind of awkward about other builds with this is it's really bad to have Beast of the Pharaoh in your hand. You just have to discard it somehow. But this deck has in-engine ways of converting off that. Zombie ratio is pretty standard. Got the same recruiter package as Silchus does. Got these same guys. Only one Goblin Zombie. Something kind of had to get slimmed down a little, and it ended up being him. We also run a Crow. I don't normally main deck Crow, but I think in here it's particularly good as just a random one-off. You have the Sangan to search it. It's another dark. It's a defensive card that gets a Lore or Sork or Dad online potentially, so that's something nice. Everything in this deck's just very toolboxy and searchable, which is something I kind of like about it. Sangan and Card Trooper, of course, both searchable by Sphere of Chaos. Sangan searches the whole deck too, so that's really nice. This will get into the Sphere of Chaos. All the battle recruiters get into anything, so yeah, spells and traps are pretty standard zombie stuff. We're on a second Book of Moon. I think it makes Chaos Endmaster a little better to be playing multiple of this. No BFDD, not even siding BFDD. Maybe I should be. Kinda, yeah, maybe I might consider just throwing that in at the last minute here. Let's, I don't know, cut Lightning Vortex, play this instead. There. I do think it's a pretty good card in zombies. It's just a little bit bricky, but yeah, as a sideboard option, I could see it. Anyway, sideboard, pretty standard. Only unusual thing is these guys. These guys are kind of underrated, but we play multiple ways of searching them too, which is really neat. Sphere of Chaos will get them, Sangan will get them, Tomato into Sangan, we'll get them, whatever. And extra deck, pretty standard stuff. We play 5 level 6s. Mainly because you want to be able to like eccentric boy into Gaia Knight if you don't want to commit like your Goyo or your Brio for that play. But yeah, it's pretty standard, you know, play all the 8s. Play just one of all the other levels since it's zombies and you don't typically make them too much. But yeah, that's the eccentric zombie list. You've seen it before. I think it's pretty neat. It's got a lot of cool stuff going on. Wouldn't mind playing it. Second list. This is probably my favorite of the lists. So this is the latest iteration, latest adaptation of a deck I've been working on for a while. I've been trying to get this like plant hero dark thing going for a while, because like you have the dandy to enable plasma, you have like the destiny hero package with the plague and the darks to like enable titanium with dasher. You can like few to just send things, so it's pretty nice. We play, of course, these guys standard, play like a bunch of heroes. Yeah, you play Ocean as a Garnet for a few. You can also like stack it for Plague and then dasher it out and use its effect in standby to get back Stratos. So it's kind of like a little cheat in that way. Then you play these to go with Dark Grepher, Arma Plague. And then I feel like previous versions kind of lacked something in terms of just extra gas. And I think the like mini Welladad engine I'm kind of running could sort of provide for that pretty well. It's just like an extra push in the late game maybe. Or just in terms of having like big synchro plays. So I kind of like having it. Feel like it goes really well with the deck in terms of just the Krebons being darks and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a neat addition for sure. And then of course you can get into Tomato off Lone Fire. Tomato searches the whole deck. Sangan searches a bunch of stuff. We got the plant package. I'm only on one Dandy. It's maybe a little iffy. I think it's just too bricky to be on multiple without quick draw in this list though. Like even with Phoenix Wings, I think there's just 22 monsters. There's just one monster too many in here, I think. A lot of these are like discard fodder or like drops that do things on their own, so it's not like too crazy slow or anything, but you at the same time you don't want to be drawing hands full of monsters, right? So one Dandy should usually be sufficient. Especially since we play like the goat now and stuff too. So anyway, Allure, D-Draw. Honestly, these are like the best cards in the deck. Resolving D-Draw is still crazy if you ever do it. Future Fusion, awesome card. You can send like Ocean plus Dash. You can send Ocean plus Mally. You can send Ocean plus Dandy. You can send Stratos plus Dandy if you really have to. So yeah, neat card. Rhoda searches this guy, that guy. God forbid this guy. But I guess you technically can if you have to. Foolish, tons of things you want to get value off Foolishing. Yeah, our Welladad ratio is like very slimmed down to make it fit in here. We're on 2 Krebons, 1 Telly, 1 Powerwell, as opposed to 3 Krebons, 2 Powerwell, which is the more standard ratio. But kind of had to like make sacrifices to fit everything together and get the most streamlined build possible. So yeah, I think Welladad for 3 Krebons, or Powerwell for 3 Krebons, is kind of like overkill and doesn't happen too much anyway. Normally you're just going to search out multiple and get them all with, have it be like a diva play. Like, you know, you don't really need 3 divas with the diva play. It's not tremendously better. Normally you're kind of going to be limited by the number of non-tuners you can put on the field anyway. So I understand that putting multiple Krebons in the field is a lot better than putting diva on the field. But like I said, sacrifices had to be made just to slim things down and get things optimal. Play Brain and Mind, just crazy sacky cards that can steal games. Storm, MST, Staples, Goat, enables Plasma, enables our multiple tuners that we're not playing. So yeah, pretty cool card. Kind of a nice defensive option against certain decks too. In terms of like stopping OTKs, it can functionally be like a T-Roar or something. So there's that. Then just Staples. Yeah, pretty staple traps. We're on the Phoenix Wings because we cut out the quick draws and the decrees. Kind of had to change things up in order to fit the Welladad stuff without it being like too bricky and whatnot. So yeah, I never was a big fan of the quick draw in here. I just played one because it was like, okay, you could search it with Sangan and maybe make a play. But we slimmed down on Dandy. We've kind of moved in a different, more Teledad sort of direction with it. So I think this build is a lot more optimal in terms of accommodating the Krebon stuff. Side deck, pretty standard stuff, you know, not a lot to say here. Extra, also pretty standard. We just play these guys as, like, you know, targets for a few, so we can mill whatever garnets we need to set up our plays. But yeah, this is, I think, a really cool list. I would like to play this one a lot, so vote for this one. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, third list. This is the Neospatian Rescue Cat list. It's probably the most untested out of all of them. I pretty much played this once in the video this week and once in the, like, Jank Iron Man, so it's got not a lot of actual testing compared to the other two decks. Maybe his potential, I think it's probably the sackiest out of all of these. It's like you get to play like Wave Mindcon because you're playing Cat. It's a Cat deck. It's inherently sort of sacky. Like if you draw Monk or something, or Monk Cat, like, well, not Monk plus Cat, but you get the point. Like Cat plays are sort of inherently kind of sacky in nature. The hand rip stuff, of course, but you can also just break horribly. You got like the Convert Contacts. The idea is mainly you turbo through your deck to get to Cat, fuel your Avarices, set up the grave for Sork Dad. You know, pretty straightforward game plan. And then trap lineup, pretty standard. So, not a lot to say about this. Like I said, it's the least tested deck on here. As a Cat deck, I think it's not the worst. Like, just a random Synchro Cat build out there, probably. But like I said, very untested. I don't really know. I mean, for all I know, maybe it'll do well if I take it to Rivet, but just haven't played it that much, which makes me nervous about it. So, that being said, it's still made the cut in terms of consideration, so you can vote for it if you want. But extra inside, pretty standard. I mean, it's a cool list. I like the synergy with the Dark Panthers. Dark Panther's just a really cool card in general, and I like having it a lot. There are a lot of neat synergies in the monster lineup and stuff, so I wouldn't mind playing it. But I'd probably want to play this one the most. But it's up to you, it's up to the people, it's up to democracy, and I will maybe respect the result. Or maybe if I don't like the result, I will declare the vote rigged and just, like, play whatever I want. So, you know, anything could happen. But that being said, still go vote. I will take the opinion of the viewers into account for sure. Go vote in the poll. Let me know which deck you want to see me piloting at RBET5. It's not a super big deal. Like I said, this is a low pressure kind of event for me. I'm going to be try-harding at Rulers. This is kind of just a chill, little fun thing for me anyway. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there for whom it is not a chill, fun thing, who have not gotten their invite, and this is the last event, so, you know. But I'm going to have fun. I'm going to show up playing whatever, and yeah. Peace out, everybody.